Welcome back to Old School Sports and our adventure in Pro Wrestling Sim. We've simmed ahead about a month and a half since our last episode. It's now May 1st of 2021, and we've had 4 shows since the last time we checked in. So, want to get you up to speed on what we've been doing, although in a little less detail than I had been sharing in the early episodes. I want to start off, though, by thanking all of the viewers for the encouragement and support of this new series. Appreciate all of the interesting ideas as far as storylines for us to consider. Definitely something that I will be exploring and thinking about more going forward. Also appreciate the ideas on TEW and some of the features in that game. Obviously, we ended up going with Pro Wrestling Sim, but some of the ideas that have been brought up that can be implemented in TEW, I've been investigating here in PWS, and also appreciate the thoughts from those of you who have played this game before. Definitely been interesting, not a game that I've spent any time with until the last several days, so enjoying exploring something different at this point. You can see that over the last month and a half, we've continued to make a bit of money, pushing our funding up to $71,000. Did get some news, though, that caused us to end what had been probably our most successful storyline, involving Garrett Carter and 3 heels, as well as a person who ended up becoming Garrett Carter's manager and still is at this point. The reason I ended up stopping that storyline, even though it had been relatively successful, is because if a storyline is good heat and enough segments devoted to it, the workers involved will see a boost in popularity when it ends. I wanted to give that a try, so I ended the storyline. Don't know that I saw any boost in popularity, so it probably hadn't gone on long enough or ultimately been successful enough, unfortunately. We have added a new storyline involving a couple of prominent tag teams filled with relatively prominent wrestlers for our promotion. Josue Melton and Marvin McNeil are one team, the M&M Boys, and then Malcolm McKnight and Mark Cannon are Double Trouble, and they don't like each other. They've had some matches we'll talk about, but a big reason that we ended up ending that first storyline involving Garrett Carter was shortly after we finished our last episode. He increased his booking fee from $400, which was already the most expensive in our promotion, to $750. So we have been less enthusiastic about frequently using him in stories, given that we don't have the strongest finances at this point. Marvin McNeil also raised his booking fee, unfortunately. We did ultimately get some other requests, most of which we have accepted, but not all of them. Did get a request that I want to show here. Guess I've already gone by it. Got a title match request from Cason Hughes, which we ended up rejecting, and we got a push request from Morgan Logan, who's a mid-card wrestler for us. Had been relatively unsuccessful, uninspiring, not all that popular, so we rejected that as well. So we're not just blindly agreeing to everything that everyone is asking us, but still trying to, when all things are considered, keep people more happy than not. Back to the 4 events that we have had since the last time we checked in, and we'll just give a quick summary of what we've done. At a high level, you could argue maybe not that much, since no titles have actually changed hands. Had a show in New Hampshire, 334 people there. Lonnie Hernandez ended up defending her women's title against Miriam Preston. and probably the most prominent match. That is a storyline that we have been working hard to keep going. 3 events held in the month of April, starting with one in Buffalo. You'll note that the attendance there was only 100. Messed up. I am so, I will admit it, I'll call it anal about what I do, that even though I'm automatically booked for 400 person rooms, when I set these up, they all default to Connecticut, which is where our promotion is based. If I'm saying that I'm doing something in Buffalo, I want to switch the location to New York, which I did, but I unfortunately didn't click for the right size venue, 400 people. So we sold out. It was a less expensive venue for us, but obviously having only 100 people there, we left a lot of potential dollars on the table, especially given that the show was just about as expensive as anything else to put out there. Match between Ricky Babylon and Malcolm McKnight. They were 2 of the people who have been involved in a storyline before, honestly, the same one involving Garrett Carter that we've backed off on at this point. But Ricky Babylon is the owner of our promotion, and still think that there could be some interesting storylines with him going forward. Marvin McNeil, the other prominent wrestler who won a match in Buffalo. After that, we had our main live event, attendance of 363 towards the end of April, which was good to see. A number of early matches, the most interesting probably Malcolm McKnight defeating Morgan Logan. Mentioned that we've been working up that storyline between the M&M boys and Double Trouble, and the M&M boys got the victory there. Women's Tag Team Championship had a match, and the Pain Train retained their title against Banks and Preston. A couple of prominent wrestlers, Keith Yates pinned Mark Cannon. And then 3W Tag Team Championship, the Dream Team, which does consist of Ricky Babylon and the now very expensive to have work for us, Garrett Carter, beat the Damage Squad. Still thinking that we may want to ultimately have Ricky Babylon and Garrett Carter lose. Carter is so expensive that I think when we do hire him, we're probably going to want him to be in singles matches, getting a bit more bang for the buck, hopefully. The issue, and I mentioned this in comments to viewers about potential storylines involving our promotion owner, Ricky Babylon, is that he does retain creative control of what can happen in the wild world of wrestling. And when I first started learning the game several days ago, I tried to make a match where Babylon was going to be the loser, and he rejected that. So it's unlikely that I can just force him to lose the tag team championship. I think over the near term, I'm just going to have to keep throwing matches at Ricky Babylon and Garrett Carter and hoping that they eventually lose. And then I can kind of end that relationship. And for the relatively expensive Garrett Carter, as I said, probably focus on singles matches for him. But also I could just consider using him less frequently and perhaps phasing him out of the promotion. But since we have ultimately continued to make some progress with our popularity and progress with our finances, don't want to underestimate the potential benefits from using someone like Carter. You will see that in April, our profitability slipped pretty significantly, only half of what it was in the month of March. And I think that's largely because we left a lot of potential earnings on the table in that show in Buffalo when I booked the wrong size room, unfortunately. And as we think about this upcoming month of May, I got a show in Westchester County, New York in a week. our main show in Connecticut in 3 weeks, and then we're going to be up in Portland, Maine, heading into Memorial Day weekend at the end of the month. I think I'm going to try to do 3 shows a month. And the reason is since we have been making a little bit of money, I think I'm going to push the envelope on production a bit and start spending more money. I think if we can start getting more people into our shows with higher quality match scores, which are currently limited at 30%, we'll start getting a little more attendance and hopefully be able to overcome the additional costs that we're incurring. Given that the overall popularity of our promotion is still only around 12 and a half, don't see any need to start local paper ads or bring on a small part-time team, because we've got some time, even though the expense of $1,000 a month is certainly something we can afford. Just doesn't seem like there's any real need to do that. But I am thinking about improving our camera quality to cheap from bottom of the barrel. It's going to cost us $10,000 a month rather than the $500 that we're currently spending. So our expenses are going to go up significantly, whether or not the increase in our maximum show score to 35% is ultimately going to drive enough attendance and enough popularity of our wrestlers and enough popularity of our promotion to kind of offset that expense is uncertain, but we won't know if we don't try. We could have also increased or started a pyro budget or improved our staging and lighting to get the max show score up a bit from here. The pyro budget is something that's actually slightly more efficient because it's $10,000 per month without that $500 implementation cost. But hopefully this won't be something that we have to back off on. We did make over $7,000 in March. My hope is that with 3 events in May and hopefully higher quality match scores moving up to 35% than the 30% we've been stuck at, we can ultimately finish the month of May close to break even. You know, if we can come out of the month of May with still over $70,000 after making this initial investment, and we do see that we're starting to get closer to 500 people in the rooms that we've booked, and we can start seeing our popularity move up, you know, towards 13, 14, 15, then it's probably the right move for us, and we'll find out in the coming days. And I'm working on booking our next show in Westchester. I was trying to find a way to perhaps get the title creatively out of Ricky Babylon and, more importantly, Garrett Carter's hands. Thought that perhaps if Garrett Carter was the one who was getting pinned, or in this case, impacted by outside interference from Malcolm McKnight, who was ringside, that might be a little more palatable. You can see that I have made, as I noted earlier, Cadence Chavez the manager for Garrett Carter, so she is ringside at every one of his matches. But when I tried to save the match, Carter was angry about the result and recommended it would be changed. Didn't have a problem with that, but unfortunately, Ricky Babylon is still unhappy at this booking, and he does use his creative control to block it. So unfortunately, if we're going to get the title away from Babylon and Garrett Carter, we're going to have to do it fairly, which is unfortunate given that Ricky Babylon in particular is one of the more talented wrestlers in this promotion, and that's putting it lightly. He's clearly by far the most talented wrestler in his promotion. And we've been working on preparing for our Westchester show. We've decided if we're going to be spending a lot of money on Garrett Carter that we need to get some bang for the buck from him. So we have officially made him and his relationship with Cadence Chavez Instagram official. They are officially in a relationship with one another. And we're also going to start a storyline involving the tag team champions, the Dream Team, Ricky Babylon and Garrett Carter, Cadence Chavez, who is obviously his manager and in a relationship with Carter, and Gia Valdez, one of the women's tag team championships, may have a role in this storyline as it moves forward. We've also added into the tag team trouble storyline Corey McKee. He's a wrestler in the promotion we haven't done too much with thus far, but McKee does have a relatively high entertainment score. So we think that getting him involved, he's known for his pranks, he's sociable, kind of a mid card, upper mid card type of heel for us, but going to see if we can perhaps get some juice going with him in this storyline between a couple of tag teams that we're trying to get off the ground here. And our new announcer, Mustafa Johnston, just doubled his booking fee from $50 to $100 per appearance. He does have pretty good skills, so I think we're just going to suck it up and keep him on board since he is really a pretty good announcer and we are trying to move this promotion forward. Mentioned that we have made the changes to our production values, so our max score is now going to be 35% rather than 30%. We're going to kind of talk about the angle between the two tag teams and Corey McKee's potential involvement with a promotion at the beginning. Then we're going to have a match between Josue Melton and Mark Cannon, two of the people who have been feuding with one another. And Corey McKee is going to be ringside, and he's going to play a role for us in the fact that that match is going to not end very well for Josue Melton. Followed by a tag team match, the women's championship between Anastasia Romero and Alani Hernandez. Marvin McNeil and Malcolm McKnight, two of the others involved in one of our angles, will be battling. And then Garrett Carter is going to wrestle today against Malik Gillespie. Also have some post-show activities. We'll be doing an interview with Josue Melton about how he feels about what happened in his match. Also going to be an interview with Alani Hernandez about her match with Anastasia Romero. Ricky Babylon will then set up a match between Josue Melton and Corey McKee, who he wants to get revenge on for costing him the match earlier today. And then there's going to be a little backstage romance between Garrett Carter and Cadence Chavez to hopefully get a little more going in the relationship issues storyline that we're hoping to kick off. So we will get this show underway. Really good reaction, thanks in part to Ricky Babylon being involved, of the continued angle involving the M&M boys, as well as Malcolm McKnight, Mark Cannon, and now Corey McKee. Mark Cannon with the victory. The finish did hurt the match quality. We knew that was going to happen when we had a interference type finish, but hopefully that will help move the storyline along and eventually set up a match down the line between Josue Melton and Mr. McKee. C Squared and the Head Knockers, Jordan Cunningham and Kason Hughes, the heels, win this match. Introductions between Anastasia Romero and Alani Hernandez before their championship bout give us a few minutes of very high quality ratings, thanks to their star power and good looks more than their wrestling skills. We'll see what happens in the match now. Can Romero upend Alani Hernandez despite Anastasia Romero's general lack of wrestling skills? And does not happen. A pretty poor match quality. 30%. So that's now going to be a problem for us, given that we've got a 35% limit now, although we've had a pretty decent success in a number of our earlier angles and matches that have happened. Moving on to Marvin McNeil versus Malcolm McKnight. Reasonably successful match here, won by Marvin McNeil. Final match of the night, Garrett Carter versus Malik Gillespie. Garrett Carter, riding a wave of momentum right now, beats Malik Gillespie in the match. And now we'll get into some of the post-show interviews and other events. Interview with Josue Melton and Marvin McNeil, revolving the feud that's burgeoning between them and Mark Cannon and Malcolm McKnight, although Melton and McNeil are faces and Mustafa Johnson is a heel announcer. Given his quality, we wanted to get a bit of a different perspective, and we kind of turned the tables in the next segment as well, with the heel Alani Hernandez being interviewed by the face announcer Jeffrey Weeks about her match with Anastasia Romero. A lot of momentum there, obviously, generally due to the star power. Ricky Babylon now going to arrange a match between Josue Melton and Corey McKee as we add him into the storyline here. And last but not least, Garrett Carter and Cadence Chavez have a romantic moment. Just we're wanting to make sure that everyone knows that they are in a relationship right now, and how that will contribute to the storyline going forward. We'll find out. Have improved our show rating to 35%. Kind of expected we would be able to get there given the ratings that we have been getting in recent events. So a little bit of progress for us as far as the ratings. 2 more shows here in the month of May. 3W Live from Connecticut, and then we'll be traveling up to Portland, Maine for the final event of the month. Money moved forward a little bit to $72,106, but again, we are going to have that big $10,000 expense given our higher production costs going forward. 343 tickets, so certainly not a huge move in terms of our attendance, but this was the first higher quality show that we'd put on, and hopefully next time around we'll be able to keep that momentum going. The storylines, we don't like each other in tag team trouble, still kind of lingering in those mid-50s area. It seems like relationship issues has a little bit of momentum from the start. We're going to have to give some thought into how to keep this storyline going. And we're getting ready for our big show for the month of May, 3W Live in May today. We've got a card that we are pretty excited about with a lot of different angles that we're working on. We've made some changes to the roster since the last time we checked in. 4 personalities now. We're trying to grow this promotion, and all of our wrestlers are not necessarily the most talented. So we're bringing in some people to serve as managers to help with the storylines and help the wrestlers. You'll remember Cadence Chavez has been a manager and a personality around for over a month now, but a few more brought on board. Also, as far as face managers, we brought on Caden Brady. Got good entertainment value. Using the lovable loser gimmick on him. We do have a few faces out there that have pretty good wrestling skills, but not much of a personality, and hopefully some type of relationship with the lovable loser Caden Brady will help them with storylines. As far as the heels, Samara Lester on board. Good entertainment value, incredible looks, and solid star power. She's going to be the manager for a few fighters as well. Known to be selfish and known to be a big partier, so could lead to some backstage drama and perhaps some drama in front of the cameras as well. And the guy that we're most excited about is Zayden Haynes. Very talented, good star power, good entertainment rating. And he's got an arrogant gimmick, thinks he's better than everybody else, strong entertainment skill, and think that he can hopefully pull off being your typical arrogant heel manager. So we're hoping that the addition of those personalities into the rapidly growing roster of wrestlers and other talent that we've been building will help. We have moved popularity from 10 to 13 over these last 4.5 months. Public image much better though. I think that was in the mid 50s maybe when we took over. So we're definitely making some progress there. We've also added the managers to the storylines where they're appropriate, where they have wrestlers that they're working with. Caden Brady is now part of the We Don't Like Each Other storyline. Emma Banks is actually a fairly talented wrestler, also good looking, but she doesn't have much entertainment value. So hopefully Caden Brady will be able to help her with that. Tag team trouble, both Samara Lester and Caden Brady are involved. Lester is going to help manage Mark Cannon, or actually Malcolm McKnight, I believe, and Caden Brady will be working with Josue Melton. Relationship issues, no changes there, but we will have some angles in the upcoming show to hopefully keep that moving forward. And then we've also got a new angle that we're working on. Lucian Gilliam, Malik Gillespie, and Mark Cannon, three of the top heels, are gunning for Ricky Babylon, and they want a shot at him because of the potentially burgeoning relationship between Ricky Babylon and Gia Valdez. She's also going to be involved in this storyline as well. So moving on to the big event today, you can see we're expecting about 350 people. A couple of championship matches here today. The women's tag team champions, Pain Train, will be defending their title against Banks and Preston. And the men's championship, Ricky Babylon, will be going up against Lucian Gilliam, one of the people who is gunning for his title. Pretty significant wages today. When you look at the workers, Garrett Carter, the only wrestler who is not part of the book today, given his high expense. We will likely have him back for the final event of the month, but we think we've got a strong enough book without him that we're going to try to save a little money while putting on what we think will still be a big show. So getting things underway, good score here on the angle involving Banks and Preston, getting ready for their matchup against Alani Hernandez and Gia Valdez. This was just a stare down and some trash talk between the teams ahead of that title matchup later on this evening. Mentioned that Josue Melton is now managed by Caden Brady. You may remember that he set up a match against Corey McKee last time around, and that match will be happening today. McKee has joined a few others, being pretty negative around Josue Melton as well as Marvin McNeil. Looks like that segment was very well received. And tender moment backstage between Gia Valdez and Ricky Babylon. Certainly G-rated, but it does seem like there are some sparks beginning to fly between Ricky Babylon and Gia Valdez. Kind of an odd combination. Ricky Babylon, the face, the prominent owner of this promotion, and Gia Valdez is a mid-card heel wrestler, but love manifests itself in mysterious ways sometimes. Moving on to the first match of the day, C Squared against Double Trouble. C Squared gets the victory. Colby Tyler landing the winning pin or submission against either Rodolfo Sanchez or Xander Berry. Pretty good match quality and a solid match score there. Decent match also between Kirsten Holloway and Anastasia Romero. And Romero, who just lost last time around in a title opportunity against Alana Hernandez, gets back on a winning streak today. Another matchup between a couple of tag teams, the High Flyers versus the Head Knockers. And solid score here. The Head Knockers, Kaysen Hughes and Jordan Cunningham with the victory over the High Flyers. The big match that was promoted last time around, Josue Melton lost a match when Corey McKee interfered from alongside the ring, was hoping for some revenge today, but McKee with the victory, although the match itself was not particularly high quality. Getting ready for the Women's Tag Team Championship match, introductions of the wrestlers and their entrances, and we will find out what happens in the matchup between Banks and Preston and the Pain Train. We actually know what will happen because the Pain Train is going to get a victory today. Alani Hernandez with the W, 2.5-star match quality, 68%. So for us, that's certainly a positive step in the right direction. Alani Hernandez and Gia Valdez successfully retain their women's championship. Interview afterwards goes pretty well. Mustafa Johnston interviewing Hernandez and Valdez about the match, and nice result there. Moving on to some singles matches before we get to the main event and the 3W Championship. Keith Yates against Mark Cannon. Keith Yates is a wrestler who has been a good, solid wrestler for us. Doesn't necessarily have a huge personality, but he gets the win over Mark Cannon. Didn't feel like anyone had the knowledge needed to put this match together. The crowd started to get bored, so brutal match quality of 0% there, just a 14% rating overall. So that one ended up being quite a dud, unfortunately. Hopefully things will be better with Malcolm McKnight versus Marvin McNeil. And I think it could be because this is a match that's got a little bit of spice in it, given that McKnight and McNeil have had issues with each other over time. Match quality not great, but still a solid rating overall. Introductions now before the championship match between Lucian Gilliam, his new arrogant manager, Zayden Haynes, and Ricky Babylon. Good result there. And we move on to the championship match, which was a pretty high quality match. The workers aim to steal the show, and they really up their game in ring. These are both people who have pretty good wrestling talent, so they put on one of the better shows we've ever had with a 3-star match quality, 74% overall. Ricky Babylon certainly helped, so a nice result there. And we move to interview with Babylon following the show, and a incredible result there, 97% rating. I think that's the highest we've gotten in anything thus far. Babylon, the interviewer Weeks, and then Gilliam, as well as his new manager Haynes, all get a popularity boost coming out of there. And last but not least, we've got a promotion involving the dislike of some of those other wrestlers for Ricky Babylon, including Lucian Gilliam, who he just defeated. And a pretty solid score coming out of that as well. So Gilliam has agent or his manager Haynes, Cannon, and Gillespie did a promo with Mustafa Johnson about Ricky Babylon and Gia Valdez, and the arrogant gimmick of Zayden Haynes worked well within the story beat. So good to have him on board as a personality already. Capped out at 35%, and another big show for us is in the books. We'll find out the official attendance when we get an email on that topic tomorrow. 382 tickets, almost $6,000 in ticket sales. So we're slowly but surely building more interest in these events, moving in the right direction. Miriam Preston offered a contract away from us. She had asked for a 15-minute match, and we did give her a 15-minute match in that title opportunity that she and Emma Banks failed in yesterday. So feels like a pretty solid result. Got one more event left this month in Portland, just 6 days away. Check in on the storylines and where we are before we do those. We don't like each other in tag team trouble, both kind of lingering around as our relationship issues. Fortunately, we want a shot at Ricky, off to a very good start. I'm sure any thing involving Ricky Babylon is going to have some level of success, but certainly much higher heat level on this one than any of the other ones. So hopefully we can keep the storyline going between some of these other wrestlers who want to take down the leader of the organization, or at least get a shot at trying to do so. And we're going to finish up our show and the episode with the third promotion of the month in Portland, Maine. The big event this evening is going to be a submission match for the men's tag team championship between the defending champions, the Dream Team, Ricky Babylon, and his partner, Garrett Carter, against the Damage Squad. Also, it's time for some shameless pandering, and we're also going to have a bra and panties match between Emma Banks and Gia Valdez. Think that we've got a fun night of action ahead, and then we'll sim through the end of the month of May and find out whether we were actually able to make money this month despite the big increase to our production costs. So you may remember last episode there was a tender moment backstage between the leader of our promotion, Ricky Babylon, and Gia Valdez, but in the corner of the locker room, there's something going on with Gia Valdez and Mark Cannon, and this seems a bit more PG-13 rated than the puppy love that seemed to be indicated between Ricky Babylon and Gia Valdez just a week or two ago. So someone's been doing some acting, but not really sure exactly who it is at this point. Starting off the match is Clinton Gordon versus Xander Berry. Clinton Gordon with the win, but not a particularly high quality match or particularly high level of excitement for the fans here in Portland. Cason Hughes versus Morgan Logan. A bit higher match quality, but still not anything that got the fans particularly excited. But now we will get ready for the bra and panty match between Emma Banks and Gia Valdez, who seems to be in the middle of something significant with Mark Cannon and Ricky Babylon. Brutal match quality. I did my best to try to put the match story together. Emma Banks with the victory over Gia Valdez, but the final score of this match was certainly not great, so we are not having a particularly good night in terms of the matches, but a couple of big ones left, starting off with Malvin McNeil versus Malcolm McKnight. You may remember there's a storyline going on with those two and their tag teams. bit higher final score here. Marvin McNeil does get the victory over Malcolm McKnight. Going to get into introductions now before the big matches between the team of Lucian Gilliam and Malik Gillespie. Zayden Haynes now involved in managing Lucian Gilliam against Ricky Babylon and his loyal teammate Garrett Carter, who is managed by Cadence Chavez. Good reaction to the intros, and now the Dream Team will be putting their men's tag team title on the line against the Damage Squad. And Ricky Babylon leads the team to victory. Him and Garrett Carter successfully retain their tag team championship. Both get a continued boost to their popularity, respectable match quality and match score. And we'll move now to the post-fight interviews. And a good segment here with Ricky Babylon, Garrett Carter, and Candice Chavez being interviewed by Jeffrey Weeks about the foes that they just defeated. After the end of the interview, though, Ricky heads off stage to have a moment with Gia Valdez about exactly what happened earlier between her and Mark Cannon. And as it happens, Mark Cannon comes by, and Ricky Babylon starts chasing him through the building. And when he rounds the corner, his tag team partner, Garrett Carter, is there and jumps in with Mark Cannon and beats down promotion owner Ricky Babylon, who lies there injured, needing treatment from the medical staff. Following that, Mustafa Johnson gets together for a promotion with Garrett Carter, Cadence Chavez, Gia Valdez, and Mark Cannon, and they all gloat about the strength of their relationships between Carter and Chavez and Valdez and Cannon, and the perhaps foolishness of Ricky Babylon. He may be their boss, but it doesn't seem like any of them really care about him as a person. Overall show rating, as expected, maxed out at the 35% that is our cap at this point. Take a look at the mail, and 388 tickets, still closing in on $6,000 an event in ticket sales. And taking a look at our roster here, and our most expensive wrestler, Garrett Carter, has taken a heel turn, turning on his loyal friend, Ricky Babylon. And with that move by Garrett Carter, or that pending move by Garrett Carter, we're also going to make a similar move with not Caden Brady, with Cadence Chavez, who also is going to take a heel turn for us alongside Garrett Carter. Question is, what happens next? And interestingly, Garrett Carter's come to us asking for a title win request by 6 months from now at the end of November. We will accept that promise at this point, but there's certainly going to be a lot of drama. He and Ricky Babylon are still the reigning and defending men's tag team champions, but it would seem like that relationship is perhaps irreparably damaged. Taking a look at the storylines involved, we don't like each other in tag team trouble. Both kind of hanging out, relationship issues, and we want a shot at Ricky have a little more momentum. And certainly Garrett Carter and his heel turn should help that one continue to move forward. And as we've moved on to June, we'll finish things up taking a look at our finances. Just barely made a little bit of money, $776 in the month of May. Obviously, a lot of expenses involved in production with the fact that we did up our abilities as far as the camera. Did top $4,000 in merchandise sales for the first time, so we're making some significant progress there. So almost $70,000 on the balance sheet as we finish this month of May. So it makes me think we can probably continue to muddle forth the way we have. Certainly not going to be making big money, but if we're putting on 3 shows a month going forward, we can probably do just a little bit better than break even, and hopefully over time with the higher match ratings, the increased production values that the cheap camera quality that we're now using provides us, we can hopefully continue to gain some momentum as far as our popularity and our finances, where we're still moving in a respectable, albeit slow, direction. Until our next episode, thanks so much for watching, and hope you have a great day.